Hey guys, it's Squall, and it's Everlasting Summer Part 3, finally. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. Oh dear. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Well, apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazons. Hello, you're new here. You must be Semyon, right? And how do you... Everyone knows already. I'm electronic, by the way. The real one. You can call me that. Electronic was a robot character appearing in popular Soviet film and book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid named Sergei Cheesekov. Electronic, the real one. Things were going from crazy to completely insane. Alright. Uliana also calls me Cheesy. Cheesy? On toast? With mushrooms? Because my last name is Cheesekov. I see. Let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as it would have taken much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. We ended up at the square again. Is he saluting or face palming? As if this place was all there is to this camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches reading some book. Electronic confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Is it Lena or Lena? Cause I like the way Lena sounds better. Cause I like the way Lena sounds better. Is that a set? Meet the new guy, Semyon. He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met, in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced at me, blushed, and went back to reading, as if not noticing that we were still here. Alright, let's go on. I was at first surprised that meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but then I thought, it was better this way. Electronic's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here, I know, this is where you consume organic food. Yeah, something like that. On the canteen's porch stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. I've met the type. At the sight of her, my joking mood vanished in a blink of an eye. Really? Now is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what's what here, or at least where I am. Her, over there, that's Alisa Davashevsk. Nope. Be careful around her. He spoke in a whisper. Va means two in Russian. The whole nickname sounds exactly like Tuch in Russian. A reference to the late anonymous image board. Don't ever risk calling her Vache. She doesn't like that. Oh dear. What did you say? What did you call me? She must have heard him. In the blink of an eye, Alisa jumped down from the porch and dashed toward us. Alright, you'll manage from here on onwards. Electronic took to his heels. I want to see what happens if we stay. Alisa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled. I'll deal with you later. Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I added a forced guilty smile to my words. But what am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing Electronic. These people have some names, man. Oh. Looks like I'll have to kill time alone, waiting for dinner, I decided to go east. At least in the direction where east would be in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. A game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself, and even thought of going professional. But a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running around the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl of about 14 years old. A girl? Hey, that's Ulyana. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey, you! Ulyana shouted. Wanna play? I didn't know how to answer. On the one hand, running around for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be my final one. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. And would probably get you on a list somewhere. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around, and walked back. I was followed by Ulyana's screams about my pants or about me being a pansy or something like that. Evening was falling, making me feel tired and emptier after a day wasted with no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to the people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? Yup. And in that case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism I serve as a gear in society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna fix that in post, but in my ears, that was pretty hella loud. Fun times. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. Chiming? More like blasting. It must be the dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing now that I knew where it was. Olga Dmitrievna was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her, as if I were expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer. Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I go with her. Look at that face, only good things can happen. My stomach backed me up here. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I'd had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs. Wait, what? Okay, so there are kids at this camp, right? That doesn't strike me as a very appropriate poster. Now, I am watching, or playing this rather, in windowed mode. So it's not full screen, so there's a chance I'm not actually seeing correctly what it is. But from my perspective, which admittedly is limited, that looks kind of like an inappropriate picture to hang on the walls where kids are going to be. I'm just saying, Russians, get your act together. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the walls, on the floor, unsophisticated tableware with the occasional crack. By the way, that was a joke. I'm not actually accusing Russians of being weird people or anything like that. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp's supposed to look like. Oh, hello. Semyon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Name I can't pronounce. Hold it right there. Olga Dmitrievna shouted at Elisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them? Indeed, her attire looks somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Yeah, she kinda looks like she's about to ask somebody to hit her baby one more time. Elisa got her shirt right and walked past, shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So where can we find you a place to sit? A table would be nice. There weren't a lot of free seats. You go over there, next to Uliana, the kids' table. Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table too. I had no other choice but to accept. In common Russian language, cutlet is minced meat, fried or baked in the shape of a ball or a cylinder, close to American patties. Compote is a drink made by boiling fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. Of course, there was the probability that the cutlets were poisoned with that. The mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. Homeboy, they could just stab you. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Hey, what do you want? I replied rather rudely to Uliana, who was sitting next to me. Why don't you play football with us? That face. Because of my clothes, said I, pointing at the source of the problem. Oh, alright then. Eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. No, more precisely, none but Uliana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you are careless. Give it back, I'm telling you. She's just a little kid, don't fight her. See, I don't have it. And indeed, Uliana's plate was empty. It seemed that this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work something out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point in following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Uliana returned and handed me the plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I like that show. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and... What the... Some bug. No, not a bug. An insect. Oh. And it got legs and it's wiggling. It's gross. Ow! Okay, that was loud too. The plate fell to the floor and broke into pieces, shattering Squall's ears. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlies appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Uliana seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing sorry, the loud noise messed me up. Laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Uliana passed out of sight on the next turn. Homeboy, you couldn't catch a little girl? It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. Well, apparently so. It simply can't. Nope, it can. I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. Night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, I gotta choose at random. That's never a good idea. I wandered for quite some time in the forest and even thought of crying for help, but I finally saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone, I mumbled quietly. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about that. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving because buses do not drive themselves, as we have established. Or do they? No. This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just been off for a snack and I left too soon, and that's why, well, in any case, this is not the place for me. Whether that bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had got here at all, and where this here was. The fields and the woods, stretching towards the horizon, had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. A strange, odd, and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago. Although I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all, and only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later. What about now? Can I allow myself to relax? It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind. Hello? What are you doing here so late? It was Slavia standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped. So, you didn't catch Uliana, did you? She smiled. I nodded disappointedly and sighed. No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all. Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger, but after these words of her, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a traitorous rumble. Slavia smiled. Let's go then. What, is the canteen still open? It's alright. I have the keys. The keys? Yes, I have keys to all the facilities in this camp. How come? Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here. I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. "Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to the canteen and I'll come in a minute, alright?" "Alright." I really did not expect to find somebody aside from myself there at such a late hour. And that somebody was apparently trying to hopelessly open the door. "Elisa?" Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. Yeah, I thought so. The lockpicker turned out to be Elisa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said, "Don't just stand there, give me a hand or something." Meaning? "Help me open the door." "Why?" "'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough." Is that really a good idea? Aren't you hungry yourself, huh?" "Liana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she?" She smiled sarcastically. "It's true, she didn't. It's fine. Slavia will come now and..." "What?" "Guess I shouldn't have said that." "I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already." Having said that, Elisa disappeared into the night. "And what was the first one?" Slavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. "Is everything alright?" "Yeah, why are you asking?" "No reason. It's nothing." It would be better if I didn't tell her about Elisa. "Everything's fine." I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice. "Well, shall we go?" As for Slavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen. "Wait a bit, I'll go get something." I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my savior. My dinner was simple, a few buns and a glass of kefir. Okay, I really like this artwork. Hang on a sec, I want to make this my, what do you call it? My thumbnail. That'll do. No wonder. I bet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. "Is there something on my face?" "No, just..." She smiled. "So, how did you like your first day in the camp?" "I don't really know. It's silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut. It's alright. You'll soon get used to it." Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things. But as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least, she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, all in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. "You think so?" she asked without any interest. "Yeah, this place is so..." I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. If the term life was applicable here at all. So how? She watched me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. "Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here." "I guess you're right." She smiled again. "It's very good that you think so." "Why?" "Well, not everybody likes it here." "And what about you?" "Me?" "Yes. I love it here. It's great." then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get to. And you're worried yourself. Really? Why do you say so? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely, I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal. So normal it sent chills down my spines and into my marrow. Normal. Not like a neighbor with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or on public transport. Not like a coworker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them looked as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp, but was ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess. Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here. Okay, what have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field. And what about the beach? Just from afar. You really should go there. Or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be and this world looks strange only to me, while for them it is normal? Maybe it was thrown into the past? Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Oh, okay. Slavia smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Can you find a way to Olga Dmitrievna by yourself? Of course I can, but why should I go there? She'll settle you with someone. What for? Probably this question seems stupid because Slavia bursted into good-natured laughter. You need to sleep somewhere, right? Well, that makes sense. Fine, I'll be off then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. A bundle of keys left in the door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Alright, we know that Troublemaker Girl was trying to get in earlier, so if we leave the keys... But would it really be so bad if she got in here? Although, there are kids running around probably as well. Yeah, we're taking them. I'd better take them. I'll give them back tomorrow because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me chills. It's me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. A sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructed mood could offer. He was much brighter than near the canteen, and tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer camp, girls. I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. Alright, and we are gonna leave it here for now. I am so glad that my recording software is working again for this, because I am genuine. My goodness, I'm really excited to find out where the story goes. It has its flaws, but it's caught my attention because, what if you woke up one day and you were sent to the past and you were at this crazy camp with all these people? That would be pretty hella interesting. So I do want to find out what happens next. So I will see you guys for part 4. 4? Yeah, 4. Thank you.